This month on The Spark, our theme is providing a lift. We'll learn more about a nonprofit lifting youth and working to deter crime, drugs, and gun violence. An organization working across the state of Tennessee as a collaborative leader guiding mental health transformation. And a full-service rigging and transport company with a higher purpose and commitment to give back. We'll also share a special moment from our Spark Awards 2021.
From our very beginnings in 1954, Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance has been built on the values of customer service, leading with integrity, and supporting our community. We believe in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example to power the good. Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance is honored to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.
Additional funding for The Spark is provided by Meriton, the Memphis Zoo, EC-OP, My Town Movers, My Town Roofing, My Town Miracles, and by Serves.
Ever been excited by a new idea? Inspired by watching someone lead by example? When we talk about creating change, we start by sharing the stories of everyday heroes who are making a difference in their own way so we can learn and do the same. I'm Jeremy Park, and this is The Spark. They're a nonprofit lifting our youth and helping to deter gun violence, crime, drugs, gangs, and so much more. We're here with the founder and president of Freedom from Unnecessary Negatives, Stevie Moore Sr. And Stevie, this starts with a very personal mission and story for you. So talk about what led you to start this nonprofit.
Well, people think I started a nonprofit after my son got killed. But that's not true. I started this nonprofit in 1983 after I got out of incarceration. And it was so simple to start. I was laying on my bunk in jail, and we was checking one another, talk about one another, wife, girlfriend, stuff you do in jail. And it came to me that everybody in jail was for negative behavior. And I came to me and I said, if we can free ourselves from negative behavior, we can get to jail cell. Still holds true today. Been out 41 years, so I know it works. By 2003, when my son got killed, I thought I was doing a lot of good work. Jeremy, I thought I was doing a lot of good work coming out of jail. We was working in the schools. And then after my son got shot in the head with AK-47 assault rifle, and I had to watch my son lay on that ground for 2.5 hours because he was dead on the raft. And I just saw that blood just streaming down the street. So that next morning, I made up my mind. I swore to God, myself, and my son that I would spend the rest of my life. And that's why people ask me, it's a program. It's not a program to me, it's a mission.
Well, and you do a lot. And so when you talk about all the different things you do, from community, large gatherings, all the way into almost one-on-one mentorship and role model and guidance, go ahead and paint the picture of all the different things that you do.
We got two problems. This youth, what I'm working on, is trying to keep them from going to jail. But then my felony program, I got to catch them when they get out of jail. You tell a man to come out of jail and you got to put that felony on, and a felony is a lifetime sentence. That's been 40-something years ago, mine's still on that. So they can't get a job. So I tell business leader, well, you can hire him or he can rob you or me or somebody, he got to eat. Back a while ago, me and the former Mayor A.C. Ward, we started a program in the correction center. And I'm saying, y'all want these guys to get out and join that program. They ain't been in a program 5 and 10 years. They don't want to come out and get in the program. Now, but they got to have something to eat the day they get out. Her girlfriend probably gone. Then mama got a thing with somebody. She said, boy, you can't stay here for 3 weeks. And so he out there, the next thing you know, he can pick that pistol up. He finna pick that dope up. Because he got to eat. And so I hire guys in 3 things. We hire guys to help them get back in their life. But what we do, we clean up around schools. We clean up blight. So we helping the community at the same time helping the man. Now, is all of them gonna act right? No. But we try to save the ones that we can. And I got a list of them. came to me, then got married, got 2 children after that. So it works.
You have a number of programs and on your end and efforts where you go in and you're helping to do back to school drives for kids. Talk about some of those different levels of impact we were able to give back and make a difference.
What I'm gonna tell you the two greatest impact programs I have all year, and it's for the back to school. Do you know how many children don't start the school to 2 weeks to 3, 4 weeks? They don't have no school supplies. The mother, she's none but 30. She got 8 kids. There's no sense us talking about that mother, because if she had a kid at 12, she didn't know how to be it. She never had no guidance here. She just keep doing the same old thing. So what I got to do, instead of talk about that person, I got to stop and grab those children so we can stop the generation curse. So I got to be the dad, the uncle, the big brother, what they have never had. And that's when I keep my candy. And so same thing with this back to school. The Christmas thing. Some of these mother, it was in a couple of ladies put it in the paper, and I saw it the next day, and they said, wasn't for Mr. Moore, and I wouldn't have had no toys for my kids. That's my reward. That's my reward, and it makes me feel so good.
Well, how can we help your efforts?
Not just be there, and I would, Jeremy, I would like sometimes you come out with one of them when this year, and we just don't treat our children what we do every year. What month is that we do this in? The law enforcement. Every September, we feed law enforcement. So we want to get the whole community. And my guys that work for me, I make them come to the law enforcement evening. I said, shake that man's hand, shake that lady's hand. They just human beings. Their job is law enforcement, but they got kids just like us. So what I really would love for you to keep doing is supporting me, helping me get this message out. That's the biggest issue. And every once in a while, if you got a couple extra dollars, I'll take that too.
So how can we learn more? How can we get in touch?
Come on, tell them. Tell them. Shane, tell them.
You can reach Mr. Moore at Stevie, STEVIE at FFUNSAVEYOUTH.org, or we're on the web at unsaveyouth.org. www. Thank you.
I had to do that. You come hand me a car across the street. I ain't got my glasses on.
Stevie, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for everything you're doing in the community. Thank you for coming on the show.
And thank you for all you do. I've been looking you up lately, and man, you busy. So thank you for having me.
They're working across the state of Tennessee to help guide mental health transformation. We're here with the CEO of Tennessee Voices, Ricky Harris. And Ricky, this starts with a conversation with Tipper Gore. Give us a little bit of history for Tennessee Voices.
Absolutely. It's the why of the organization. Tipper Gore founded us and was experiencing a physical injury that her son had, and was talking with a pediatrician about the outpouring of community support just to kind of help get through the period of time that kind of put him out for a minute. And the pediatrician opened up and shared that she actually was experiencing something with her child, but it was mental health related. And the community response had been almost the opposite, actually, that it was, kind of back off, a little fear to talk about the issue, and certainly not willing to jump in and help, as Tipper had shared, bringing dinners over or offering to babysit for a little while so she could run errands. And this pediatrician said to her, that's not been our experience at all. And I think that moment for Mrs. Gore was, we have to change this. We have to make this something that people understand so that they get the same community level of support and care that I received.
And so, as I mentioned, statewide effort, which means you're going a lot of different directions in terms of programs and growth. But Paint the picture of what all you do.
It is a very broad array of services. Generally speaking, we provide services to everyone of every age with any kind of mental health need. And so that can look like a lot of different services. Everything from in-home support at a really high intense level, working with families to kind of manage some really complex needs with diagnosis of all kinds, to outpatient in the office clinical treatment like therapy or medication management, to prevention services like working in schools to prevent suicide through a screening process that we have. So there's a number of ways which we infiltrate all 95 counties in our state and work on just at one level, work on advocacy and outreach. So just making people more educated and more aware of mental health needs and issues and comfortable talking about those, and then layering in all the resources that are out there and collaborating with all the people that we know that are also doing this work to make change.
I know that we've been going through a pandemic, but you've said that the second pandemic is the mental health crisis. Talk about what the pandemic has done to open up this conversation around mental health and the importance of it.
Absolutely. One of the things we understand is that the pandemic changed our norms, our life as we knew it, and it's predictable, as much prediction as we could make, right? In its predictable state of day-to-day routines and the way in which we interact was completely changed by the pandemic for now 2 years. And while now we are seeing some sense of normalcy, right, we languished for almost 2 years. And honestly, we called it languishing because what we realized is for some people, it wasn't an experience of clinically diagnosable depression or anxiety, but there were feelings of just not being able to focus and not feeling motivated and feeling kind of fearful in some cases and lonely. All of it wrapped up into this definition of languishing, which is being stuck in an unpleasant situation for a prolonged period of time. That was it. That was so it. So I think for us was just really helping people understand your feelings are normal. Everybody's kind of feeling it too. So normalizing that, and then trying to figure out what's next, what takes us from languishing to flourishing again.
When you look at technology, telehealth has been a big opportunity to open up access. Talk about access points, where it starts, technology. How do we start accessing these programs and services on your end?
Telehealth was huge during the pandemic. Without it, we would have been completely strapped. What it did for rural communities who lack resources, who lack, in their community, the buildings to go to receive treatment, they now had access to much larger systems that provided treatments and opportunities for them to address mental health needs, both ones they were newly experiencing because of the pandemic, but for some people, things they had been experiencing for a while and just didn't have access to the resource. I say this all the time, and I think it's the perfect example. If I wanted to go to therapy every week because I wanted to address issues, but I knew that I had to drive 30 minutes to 45 minutes to get to it, and then 30 to 45 minutes to get back, I don't know, as a mom of 2 children, a wife, a person with a full-time job, I don't think I could make that work. So sit down at your computer, log on, 50 minutes away from the kids and you're back in the game. That's doable. And I think that changed a lot for our industry.
How can we help Tennessee Voices? I know you have a number of resources, podcasts, all sorts of opportunities, but how can we help you?
Well, yes, we have an awesome podcast called Can Plus Did. We're sharing stories of people who have gone through their own challenges and how they managed to help someone else kind of hear and connect to those stories. One of the things we are doing, though, May 17th, we're having a golf tournament and raising some money to help people who don't have means or resources to access mental health counseling. So one of the way, if you play golf or know somebody who does, or you own a business and could sponsor it, that's a really fun way to plug in, and that can be found on our website at tnvoices.org.
Ricky, greatly appreciate all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
The Spark Awards annually recognize and celebrate individuals and organizations that have made outstanding contributions to the community. The 2021 recipient of the Education Leadership Award is Dr. Patricia Bafford of Memphis Shelby County Schools.
I'm Dr. Patricia Bafford. I am the Director of Health Services for Shelby County Schools in Shelby County with the Exceptional Children and Health Services. In a normal world, I've got several responsibilities. I am actually working directly with our nurses in Shelby County Schools. I also work directly with our coordinated school health department. The COVID contact tracing center was actually, as you can imagine, it is because we've got COVID all nationwide. Everybody has heard about COVID. So what our district has done is we have increased the capacity to respond to those cases that are being reported in our district. This initiative started off with just myself and another member of the team in risk management, but we worked in collaboration with the health department to get pretty much how we are addressing COVID through phone calls, taking the cases. We developed a database, and the database, actually we can enter staff cases and student cases in the database. And so on a daily basis, we are getting that information, putting it into the database and reporting it to the health department. We are working with the health department to make sure that what we're doing for Shelby County Schools is the cutting edge of everything that's coming down from the CDC, the health department. And so when we put those things together, we actually have reports that we send to the health department on a daily basis. This year, we've been fortunate enough to have funding, and it's the ELC funding that we got through the federal government. It stands for Epidemiology Laboratory Capacity. And basically those nurses have come to us, and we've been fortunate to build the capacity to add nurses on the ground with us to work with our district staff to help us to answer calls and be able to work in a timely manner so that we can put the contacts with those cases, get them to the health department, and make sure that we're identifying those individuals that need to go into quarantine and isolation. As a nurse, I'm really excited that I'm having an opportunity to stand for our nurses that are working with me. It really pleases me to see that somebody said, okay, well, let's get the nurses out there. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see what they're doing. So I'm really honored that we are getting the recognition. And I'm saying we because this is just not it is we.
They're a full-service rigging and transport company headquartered in Memphis. We're here with the CEO of ProLift Rigging, Matt Brennan. And Matt, give us a little bit of history for ProLift Rigging.
Jeremy, thank you. It's great to be here. Really appreciate you guys, all you do in the city. Yeah, ProLift started actually at the end of 2018 with an acquisition of a Virginia-based rigging and hoisting company called Diversified Industrial Rigging, and we joined forces with those guys. And that was our first acquisition. Since then, we've done 3 more and operate in about 10 cities across the U.S. with our service center here in Memphis, Tennessee, supporting our branch network.
And so talk about what you do, because these are big, heavy projects. And so how do you describe what you do?
You know, trying to relate back to most folks, most of us have ordered new appliances or dealt with Amazon, and we've just gotten used to things showing up on our doorstep or washer and dryer delivered, installed. We provide similar services to the heavy industrial market. The packages we deliver are, 100 plus tons, 40 to 60 feet long, 14 feet tall. So we deliver large integrated power and cooling systems to different facilities over the road, by rail, and all the way to the site, and set it safely in place.
And I know that you all cover everything from warehousing to obviously the big cranes and rigging. And so everything in between to be able to start and finish a project on time. What are some of the trends that you've seen? And I'm thinking things like shortened time frames, data centers with all the technology and the pandemic and that shift online. What are some of the big trends that have been affecting your business?
Yeah, actually, the pandemic is the major mover of a lot of trends that we're involved in, and one was the massive growth in just bandwidth requirements and cloud services. Everybody's home, a lot of folks using Zoom. Obviously, people watching more and more content on their phones and TVs, and businesses being entirely based in the cloud now with email and work processes. So behind the cloud is actual physical, plant and infrastructure you have to build to keep up. So we've seen a continued push on construction of these data center facilities across the U.S. And because the demand has been so strong and powerful for those providers, the cloud service providers, they've had to really speed up the process of delivering new data center capacity, do it faster, all in the midst of a labor scarcity, labor shortage, supply chain challenges with lockdowns and quarantines all over the world. A lot of the equipment's made, in Asia, Europe, South America. And actually, one of the bright spots for us is because companies are in that situation, a lot of production and manufacturing of this equipment has come back to the US. So just after seeing so many years of manufacturing leaving the United States, it has been awesome to see new manufacturers popping up across the Southeast, the Midwest, building a lot of this equipment, and other foreign manufacturers coming to the US. So it's an exciting time. It's a challenging time.
Well, let's look inward in terms of taking care of your employees. One of the other things that's really special about you and your company and your team, very purpose driven. So talk about faith, purpose driven, and how you take care of your team.
So our company is managed by a group of stakeholders that are really compelled by our core beliefs and our faith. We just fundamentally believe that the problems in the world are going to be solved when people are reconciled to God through a relationship with his son, Jesus Christ. So that drives us. And because we've been impacted by our relationship with God, we feel the need to use everything we have to extend that message to others and help others. So the company's purpose is to glorify God. We're a regular, contractor doing business as the rest of folks do, but we pretty clearly state that to our team, that's our purpose. That's why we're in business. You don't have to necessarily align with that purpose to work for us, but we want you to know it does attract a lot of people to our company. So as we're out doing business, we just take really specific measures to take care of our team. We really, just out of a sense of gratitude for God's care for us, we try to extend the exact same thing to our team, be concerned about them, their marriages, their finances, long-term planning. If they're going through challenges with substance abuse or other problems or difficulties, we just try to come alongside, coach and equip and resource. So we've got a number of different programs focused on our team. And then we take the impact outside of our business and tell those on our team that, we're trying to generate a profit to grow our business, but also take that and share it with others in the community and around the world that have really significant physical needs, challenges. So for example, in Memphis, we love partnering with Restore Corps that works in human trafficking across the region. We love working with Memphis Athletic Ministries, who's been for years serving kids in our community and their families, all the way to West Africa, India, parts of the world where you've got just enormous challenges with food, security, people that really have never heard about Jesus Christ and the good news that he brings. So we just support all kinds of ministries working in those places to help people. And it helps our team really be inspired as they're laboring in their job. There's a reason why we're doing this that's beyond just a small group of people becoming wealthy and serving themselves. It's really so that people across the world can be impacted positively, and especially here in our city of Memphis.
Give me a story of impact. So what's a story that puts a smile on your face?
Jeremy, one definitely comes to mind. It had to do with the proximity of where our business has been located. Historically, we're adjacent to Orange Mound. Had an opportunity to connect with that neighborhood over the years, get to know nonprofits there. There's one called Landmark Training and Development that runs an excellent job skills training program and urban farm. We were able to connect with those folks and open up our facilities to them, open them up to relationships. Some of the people participating in their program were able to engage with our team, tour our facilities, and it just assisted in overall employability, helping them have a vision for what was possible for them as they came through. Most of them are underage kids or coming out of juvenile correction system. So catching young people and giving them a vision for work and what's possible for them has been really rewarding. And partnering with Landmark has been a great success in our minds.
Wrap up with contact information, website. Where do we go to learn more?
Yeah, we're at proliftrigging.com, where our toll-free numbers are published in all of our branch locations. Of course, please reach out to us here in Memphis. We'd love to get to know you, especially if you're running a business or working in the marketplace and want to talk about how to maybe ignite your business with purpose. Those are things we love to connect around. So thankful for this opportunity, Jeremy. Thank you so much.
Well, Matt, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Something that we all need in our lives at one point or another is a lift. We need someone to pick us up physically, mentally, and spiritually. Sometimes that means picking us up off the ground after we've been knocked down and getting us back on our feet again. And others, that means helping us transition from one place in our life and career to a level that's higher, a level that sometimes we don't even know or believe we can achieve. When people and organizations pour into our lives and start providing a lift, anything becomes possible. That's why we're fortunate to have organizations like Freedom from Unnecessary Negatives pouring into our youth to lift them and keep them away from drugs, alcohol, gangs, and guns. We're fortunate to have Tennessee Voices focused on the emotional and behavioral well-being of our citizens and lifting our community through support services, training, referrals, and advocacy. And to have companies like ProLift Rigging with their purpose-driven model, ProLift Cares, and commitment to supporting nonprofits and charitable efforts in our communities. When we're providing a lift to help someone, we're creating the spark to help our community. So thank you for watching The Spark. To learn more about each of the guests, to watch past episodes, and to share your stories of others leading by example, visit WKNO.org and click on the link for The Spark. We look forward to seeing you next month, and we hope that you'll continue joining with us to create a spark for the Mid-South.
From our very beginnings in 1954, Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance has been built on the values of customer service, leading with integrity, and supporting our community. We believe in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example to power the good. Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance is honored to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.